the potential to be. If everything has potential to evolve or even to be in God's presence, then it might be that what we call the Big Bang was that initial response.
So no, then you're saying that's outside of God's power,
No, not outside of God's power.
outside of God's direction, outside of God's
No,
pushing.
no, the same way that everything has been happening since then
No,
is all it's
so he said it in motion.
it's always influenced by God.
I got you. I'm
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
No, did he set it in motion?
He started maybe with the one cell.
So this is my point.
His existence set it in motion.
Right.
The fact that he exists.
You mean set man in motion?
No, the fact
Oh.
that he exists is the impetus behind everything that happens.
Right. But in other words, the opening of the Torah is going to start off, God is hovering above the water, right? In other words, God's presence is drawing everything in a certain direction.
But he, if we have to say that way, he created the word. He created the presence of everything.
But we know that. So this is where it gets very dicey. But
Right.
listen to the track of the way that I framed it.
I
Every single thing that's happened since that opening
I
second,
got you on that one.
right, has been a response to God's will. Whether it's Moshe, whether it's
I'm clear.
the creation of a son or whatever,
Give me that.
right? Okay, so all I'm doing is taking this back to
But why?
the first second.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because it's everything else has worked that way. Why not assume that there was some break that happened? I'll tell you why. Why did God decide to create the universe at that time?
No idea what's going on.
I'm answering the question.
Okay, I can't answer.
So the answer to the question, in my opinion, is that there was no decision by God at a certain point in time. They just went, okay, you know what? Now let's do it. No, that was us responding to that
He had
influence.
to put that power, that system in place before that. It doesn't just come to be. It's all.
How do you know?
But the time was right for it to happen.
No, but it's all God's hand. I'm saying because it's to
But
what
you
end?
need certain conditions.
I got that. I'm clear on that.
But it answers your question. It answers both questions.
Purpose.
Well, that's
It
not
answers both
sorry.
That's
questions.
exactly what I'm trying to answer.
No. It answers both questions, in my opinion.
I don't see it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what I mean.
Time.
If there's no time, time was just, that's correct. There was an infinite potential
Yes.
that was standing out there, and like I've said,
How?
because in God's presence, everything is in a potential state. Everything is. Nothing is a potential something.
So
Nothing is a potential something.
And by the way, we
You
see
have to
this in
start with
quantum
that.
mechanics today. That when there's, in other words, I don't know, maybe this is reflective, as I was just doing today.
Is there a pure nothing?
So that's what I'm asking. When you're in, and there's nothing around you, but we know that,
There is something.
no. Your, what do you want to call this? Your consciousness, your focus of things affects what's going on,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not saying that God is the same thing. What I'm saying is the same way that things are reactive simply by our awareness, maybe the entire universe is potentially can exist in the presence of God. I don't know how to say it other than the presence of God. In other words, whatever we want to say God is, and God's influence that extends in every direction all over the place, constantly.
but
Maybe there's other universes that have also come into existence as a result of that thing that have no crossover with us at all. Maybe.
No, maybe there's billions of them.
Maybe.
probably.
Maybe there's,
Well, even like the rabbis say,
Maybe there's-
how they said they were created and destroyed and created, and
Right.
I don't know.
or maybe there are presently trillions of them.
Definition of God that they do exist.
Huh?
Because if the potential of this earth and this existence came about because of a certain way that we
Conditions.
reacted to it and stuff like that.
100%. In
There's
other
other
words,
reactions in other places.
all the development has gone in a direction that's been we'll call it freedom in the system, developing under that influence.
So you
And some of that influence and development has taken billions of years to move a step forward.
Because logically, you have to say this by other existences.
Oh, I mean, we could.
That
No, it's not a
potential,
problem.
that system had to be put in place by God. It's not independent of God.
Okay, this is a debatable point, but the point that I'm trying to draw back to,
If you're saying that it's independent or if it's from.
When you say put it to motion,
That's what.
no, you're
No,
getting, no, before you
This
get
is-
to the what goal.
Yes.
so I should have said why it's the answer to both questions. Because if everything is being pulled into higher forms of existence and awareness and consciousness, right? That process is just we're just a continuation of that process. right? So the purpose is that you have that greater awareness and exist. One second. Are you happy that you have existence?
Not my question.
No. It's part of it.
No,
Because I think everything
no, not.
is, let's call it, enjoys the fact that it gets to have existence.
Are you happy you were born?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you happy God?
No, one second. You have to separate the existence. I just want to make a point. That question of are you happy that you exist is different than are you happy with the justice that the world
No,
has?
we're not talking about
Yeah.
justice.
It's
Am I satisfied that I'm part of this process and part of?
Not satisfied, I didn't say
yeah,
that.
whatever.
Are
You get
you
to,
appreciative of the fact that you exist?
Yes,
right.
and of the progress and the things and the developments.
Yeah, nothing to do with good, bad things, but,
Yeah.
right, because if you talk to a guy in a concentration camp and says, I'm not happy that I exist, you know,
Yeah, we wish.
Yeah, which is that's a different thing. That's a different point.
that's a different point.
Level, this thing, this unbelievable. Why did you start us off as amoeba?
No.
No,
That's because,
Process you put.
yeah, it's not the process.
It start off as,
It's when you're breaking from nothing to something.
that's what
That's
happens.
step one. Then to become a human being is a very long process of development that has to go on.
So the nothing to something part.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why it took 13 billion years for human beings to hit the scene. But now that human beings are
And
here,
then Amy's question. why
it's
did God
probably
set it
gonna
that way?
accelerate. What?
Why set it up that way? Why not just start with this
No,
hard?
not
being
to
and
stop.
No, because God, everything is done through
It's
free will
because it's-
process. God is not forcing
Why
any
stop?
development.
What is it for? What is the system?
Why did God wait 13.8 billion years? to
He
put
didn't
human
wait.
beings on-
He didn't
on the
wait.
scene?
He didn't wait.
That's what I'm saying. That was us way. Why? And it's this, I use that same analogy. Why were the people?
The free will, conscious free will, and natural free will are.
Yeah,
Natural free will exists.
Yes.
yeah. But that's Rabbi Sassoon says that there is
Clearly,
what is that?
This is a natural, everything is moving to a higher order
Mhm.
from the cell.
But natural,
Right.
not in free will.
But that is.
Everything,
Will.
no, everything has a consciousness is pervasive to everything as a result of the fact of what he calls, the fields of spread,
Yes.
right? Those fields of spread are whatever. He sees the fields of spread, which are, let's call it, the material of our conscious being. It comes from this connection to God. And that's, you get this, what we'll call this infinite energy source, okay? Whatever you want to call this, without getting into the metaphysics or physics of it. There's something that God gives the capability of being, but it looks like, and this is what I'm saying, you'll take everything I said back to the first blip, but you won't go the extra step of saying even the transition from nothing to something was also a free will decision. I say it explains why something happened at a certain point in time.
only,
Even
wait,
that
but
transition.
you have to add on to that you don't know what nothing is.
That's
You
correct.
have to add on to that. You don't know what
We don't know what nothing.
do you mean nothing is something?
But
When you
that's
say
what I mean.
nothing, what is
In God's
nothing?
eyes, the same way that your
You can't say
awareness
nothing.
gives
Nothing,
existence
there's
to
nothing.
everything
Oh, there's a
around you.
nothing, that's a something.
The natural free will. Yeah.
What?
There's a free will of conscience.
Yeah, and
Okay, that's something.
It's the, if I
Yeah.
drop this on the floor, does it have the right to decide not to fall?
so the universe and this doesn't have a united consciousness, right?
But a plane does.
But you do, and a plant does.
I know.
Right, so
Fish
those are unitive consciousness,
Okay,
but of a much more complex nature. It required extremely complex development to produce something
okay.
with that type of conscious capability.
Okay.
But does that mean that you're made up of atoms, you're made up of quarks and so on, keep going down? Do those things have any level of consciousness?
Yes, according to Rabbi Sassoon, yes.
Well, I mean, it's only natural to say that there's something going on that's the process that's gonna go all the way down to the smallest.
So the atoms in this book have a level of consciousness.
They have
too?
I don't want to use, so when you use the word consciousness, everybody's going, oh, so they're thinking about what they're doing?
No.
You shouldn't, I say that there's certain tendencies, exactly the way that,
They have options to go left or right.
right, and we see it in the quantum, movements, right? They can't predict if the thing's gonna go one way or another. But sometimes it goes this way, sometimes it goes this way. It never technically goes that way, right?
No.
Okay, but there's a level of freedom in the system. There's a level of freedom. And when does that level of freedom make it to the next parasha? I don't know. Well, you'll get a description of 7 days of the major movements
Right.
that go on. Now, how many movements are there in fact in between that? A lot, a lot. And it took billions of years. So when you're dropping this thing, that thing, it might take a billion years for it to make the move where it goes this way instead of that way, right? But you're not gonna see it happen.
Okay, that's the system. I know you're saying it's drawing off God's presence, but it's the system that He allowed. It's not.
Everything is an allowance by God,
Okay.
right? The whole freedom that you have is an allowance.
Why?
Why?
Yeah,
But-
I don't understand why.
It,
I cannot get my head around.
so why is,
Why, Bob?
I don't know, but it's clear that God doesn't need you to exist, doesn't need anything from you, doesn't require anything. He's not. So when you say what was God's purpose in this, I don't think the purpose is something that's God had a purpose per se, as much as it is like we've just been explaining, that it's something that you are.
No, I think that's, no, again, we said He put the system in there. So by saying that He didn't have a purpose, I think that's just avoiding the question as to what end, to what goal, to what. So, okay. everybody
Existence.
recognizes God, then we go, okay, everybody recognize God's fine in another 10,000 years.
No, I don't think God did it so that he could be recognized either.
That's all that verse is saying. The world will
And we can
recognize
say
God.
that this. was-
No, that's saying that we should recognize
The
God.
world will recognize God.
I know, but not that God needs us to have it.
No,
You should recognize, not that God needs your recognition.
I didn't say that, I said that, the world will recognize God. I say,
Right.
But why does God create a world that needs people to have to recognize him?
that,
That's his question.
why, Bob? What
Right.
what is it doing? I don't know.
It's just reality. It's just.
No, reality is what we're living in. That I understand. That's the reality of today. Why?
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 What's the woman?
No, I just because I'm learning around Tiffy and I don't understand it. It's
The
just
Tiffy laws.
a matter of.
I mean,
Okay,
these are all,
It's every day. I tell them that I don't see any forward movement. I don't see a progression. You know.
When you say you don't see a forward
It's
movement,
Tiffy, I'm saying the structure of Tiffy.
well, you could see it in the 5 Mizmorim,
That's the only part he said, yes, he sees.
6 Mizmorim.
Yeah.
You could see progression
That's about the
there.
holy thing. He said, yeah, I see that. Everything
Right.
else is just pieces thrown in.
You could see the progression in Shema. You could see, when you say Shema, the half that, you could see how there's a progression there. And you can see there's a progression, because those are quotes, direct quotes from prophetic writing.
And the rabbis didn't do.
Everything else-
They did put something in a
No,
structure.
no, everything
And it got
else,
used and it got,
everything else,
later on, but.
Couldn't come up with it.
when I pray, the main thing I say in the prayer is. The main, I was just wanted to let you know it does this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the main thing I say in the prayer is either the six Mizmorim or three of them, depending on what I'm doing, but there's still a progression, even if it's three of them. And then after that, there's Yotzir, but I say the short version. So you say God creates everything. It's like one beracha. And then Shema. And then the Amidah, which has its own structure, and that's it. I mean, it's very, very quick, very, but there is progression in those, the prophetic written word there has a progression, and the prophetic written word in Shema has a progression, and that's progression.
In those pieces, right.
In those pieces.
Spots.
Right.
I was asking about the whole TV or whatever.
Well, there's a lot of it that's get
You had to go-
added and added and added and added and Kabbalah, yeah.
You had to go to
That, I
the
mean, you
level.
gotta,
That's what for that.
maybe you should filter out those things for yourself and not, you should ask them, I
He
want to
said-
filter them out,
He said, sure.
huh?
He said, yes.
Right, filter them out. And then, after that, I mean, that was saying if you're at that point, but 25 has a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
A lot of meaning as the Mizmor of Tishu B'Av, the Mizmor of the first time that he comes up in Tehillim. We learned that together. That's the first time really it comes up. It's the first time the whole thing is spoken about in depth, right? So, and after that, you're done.
Yeah.
After that, you're done.
To have a Shir Shalom is nice to have one piece more every day focused on it.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
was nice.
Yeah. Right. That's good. You take a piece and you think about it once a week. And the best one probably to do is if you can take one of them and spend a lot of the time on it, and then you have the best of the options, just one thing. If you can do that, if you take one thing and it could take you 15, 20 minutes, and you could contemplate what it's saying, that's also terrific. Right? This year we had forward movement on Tehillah David. It ends with Ronnie says, "Oh, that's called Neshamat." Yeah. So the end of the first Mizmor in the conclusion, end of the last one, 145 and 150, they're saying the same exact thing, or paraphrasing is right. Saying it
It's only from the individual perspective.
from then the other one is on the national perspective. So that's good. But I think the idea that everything is a response, which Rabbi Sassoon always said from day one, everything is a response. All Morris is adding is that everything is a response to God's existence. The Big Bang is a response to God's existence.
An influence.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is, the whole thing, everything.
Yeah.
What is all of that? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows
Read
what
the last page of Reality Visited. He said we should appreciate and be grateful that we can partake in moving the project forward in whatever the next iteration of this having greater existence is.
Right. I like to, maybe you could say, delude myself or fool myself. I say, you have no idea where it's going to end up. You don't know what happens when it continues to grow, when it gets better and better and better and better.
No,
You
I got
know,
that.
that could
When it
get
gets to
to
the
a
point
point.
that it's, okay, it gets to the point that it's great. Now what?
That's the goal, is to reach that level of the God. You're asking God's motivation, but you can't put that into the equation.
No, I'm saying when you say then what, if
He
a
proved the point.
person,
He proved
if
the
a
point.
person is reacting to the infinite, God is infinite. So the human race can infinitely react to that. Where is that end? It's infinite. We just don't know what it means. We just don't know what it means to react infinitely, or to move up a level infinitely, right? Or you're saying, so what happens when I get there? Well, when you get up in the morning, you say you're in Gan Eden.
Deal.
And deal, right? You say you're in Gan Eden. So I don't know. You say this is Gan Eden, so what is that thing in a million years from now of a development? Or I take that back. In a billion years of forward movement without the human race wiping itself out, right? Without it destroying itself, what is it like? Who knows? Who knows what the great potential
And-
that
and if-
exists
if-
is?
If it should wipe itself out, then it was a failure.
No,
Again, God may have other worlds that are existing and don't.
right. We said there might have been billions that have
Right.
been
Like
wiped
a lot
out.
of extinction events and.
You have the opportunity, but it's dependent on
You blow
you.
it, you blow it.
You blow it, exactly. And they blew it on day one, right? Okay, don't blow it.
Yeah,
Well,
God-
I mean, that is what the Torah tells you.
God set his high standards, Adam and Eve blew it, we dredged, and we had to start building up again from there.
Right,
We took a step back, and now we're building up, trying to reach.
Right,
Gan Eden, for example,
right,
that we had, and we lost it.
right.
okay. We made it through a few millennia.
Yeah, we're getting,
Keep the process going.
I don't think beyond that you're gonna get an answer at that juncture.
I think it's better,
Uh,
it's better said.
I think at that juncture, you've hit the wall.
I think-
You're gonna hit a wall. There's nothing to talk about.
but
But
God set up a utopia, he set up a system that.
You mean existence?
A perfect existence,
You're here. Here you are.
but I'm gonna go back to the beginning.
Oh,
No,
The,
no, but you never set that up. That was just.
no.
the Gan Eden existence was supposed to be a perfect existence.
No, it's an example of what.
No, I-
existence-
I don't,
wasn't-
I'm just saying, but, or this is the paradigm, what a perfect existence is gonna be like, or should be, or we should strive for. But we started backwards and we have to work our way up.
You saw back, we just started on a natural.
I'm using the allegory of Gan Eden as a framework for the way
right,
God intended things to go.
Right, well, I think that was the saying, follow,
Right.
if you're following God's will, then you're moving the process forward and things will continue to develop maybe rapidly.
And I'm
And-
showing you what it could be like from the beginning, I'm
Right.
showing you what it could be like.
But all the setbacks are real setbacks. That's all.
But I started showing you what it's like, and now we're gonna start back.
Well, that's descriptive,
I
right?
understand, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's
No,
that,
but the story-
that Gan
the story-
Eden is,
the
the
story,
Gan Eden
not
is
the-
there,
The story.
so it's there though, it's for us to read and know.
But
it.
like we always say, the Gan Eden is a frame of, it's a psychological frame of mind.
But it's something.
It's not a
to achieve.
description of a
It's
physical
something-
state.
No, but something
Yeah.
to achieve, it's an existence to achieve, not.
an example of,
I'm not saying, but
an example of a physical state is that you did have a country. It did exist. It's a fact that existed, Israel.
Then,
And right, for centuries, and you did,
well,
you're going to get it destroyed.
and well,
Yeah.
that's Yirmiyah is writing down the details of how it disintegrated. He's in the last stage of those moments in Gan Eden, right? He's telling you about the last 40 years
Well,
of that Gan Eden. It was Gan Eden. You had your own country, you had your own controls, you had safety, you had protection, you came from nothing, you're a bunch of say, and you developed to the point where you're a nation, and then you slowly but surely blew
he
it.
describes the hundreds of years before that too. With all the, he's not
Yeah.
just 40 years, he's come back and takes you back.
Well, he takes you back and gives you the picture of how, what did you do? Well, all your leaders were selfish and into themselves, and once the ego comes into play, everybody gets wiped out.
Right.
So, you had an opportunity to keep it. You even had opportunity to keep it after the destruction. You didn't have to leave. That's what we talked about. We said with Yohanan ben Kareah.
Yeah.
If you didn't go to Egypt, you would have stayed in Israel and everything would have been okay. So he's detailing the stages of disintegration, right? Where so he does that in
It's
order.
over,
What?
but not because it's over.
No,
because
it's the
next
beginning.
Opportunity is gonna come along and
and learn from your mistakes.
I
Yeah.
named the book Songs in the Prophetic Message of Jeremiah, the building and the planting, the B'not and Torah.
Right.
That's the building and the plant. That's what it is. Right? Yeah, how do you plant? You teach. You bring about change in the society and you so on and so forth, right?
And when you plant, it takes 4 generations to see the tree.
That's right. That's right. All of those kind of things. So so I don't
Building and the planting.
huh?
This is it.
That's the building and the
Right.
planting. That's it. So and it has a lot tremendous depth to it.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing depth, mind-blowing, right? Like you can never imagine. So the fact that you that's up for me. So when I know that, that's how I look at the picture, and that's how I think of it. But I don't go beyond that personally,
Well,
because
no.
you're here.
Yeah, it
You
gets
have this.
frustrating.
You have this opportunity. No, not because you get frustrated. No.
You don't have an answer.
No, this is what I know. This is what I know. There's your life. You exist for whatever the reasons are, how it came about, and you have a responsibility to play your role in that process, and you have to do it without selfishness. I think that's the number one message that the Torah is giving you.
Right.
The religious and political leaders all did it out of self-interest,
Rise above the ego. Right.
right? And you, if you have, that's why Moshe is Anav, and that's why Mikol Adam, and that's why you can bring about change in society, and you can end all of this suffering, so to speak.
Right.
I think, I don't know, in a sense, it's not complicated, that part of it.
Well, yeah, if you just,
Stop there.
I agree. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, there's a,
I like the way you framed it. This is what we know. You don't have to go too far to
right, this is it.
a handle on the immediate story here.
Right, that's what it is. And where is it?
Beautiful sunshine, sunrise, and it keeps you focused on the here and now. You enjoy a
Correct.
beautiful sunrise, you go and enjoy, you keep you focused on the here and now. and-
Right.
And what you have.
And the human beings, all of them, the great majority of them want control over everything. That's why they like Avodah Zarah. That's why most of the people in the world, whether they be Christians, Muslims, or whatever, they believe in, the Jewish guy who was born out of a miracle, he came into being, and he's a god, and he's on, all these magical things, and Muslims, all these magical things, and the Jews who also believe in magic, a lot of them who believe in magic, and therefore control God, and by controlling God, you take care of all these questions. Your question, take care of all
They
the
give themselves meaning, hope, eternal existence, all of the things that they don't know how to get their arms around.
right.
They create the facade of it
That's
being there
correct.
for them.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Red
You
string is
Not
have
coping.
effect-
It's a way of not coping.
red strings make you cope better.
It's a coping mechanism that
medallions.
nobody wants to admit is,
Which is a non-coping
It's-
method, which you're not
it's not
coping with
real.
reality.
yeah.
Right. Right. They אומרים לאבן הביע תני. They say to the stone, you're my father, right, to the tree, you gave birth to me. Then you can make a nice picture, and you can, or like we said last week, the women who say, if we would have made the cakes, everything would have been okay, and we would have satisfied the gods, or right, the queen,
And everything would have been good.
everything would have been good. So people,
Which is an easy sell.
Much easier.
It's an
They
easy-
sold
To
it to themselves.
themselves.
Yeah.
they're selling themselves.
Yeah.
They're selling themselves.
Because they couldn't face, they couldn't,
Look, they can turn on the true Navi with that sell too. They can just, dismiss, because how are you gonna answer,
Right.
Yeah.
I think for me, seeing the prophetic message with great clarity is the most inspiring thing that there is, right? I think when you see it, you get inspired. And when you get inspired, you feel like you're connecting with God. And when you feel like you're connecting with God, then there's purpose in that. There's purpose. There's you see you transcend. You transcend, right?
Mhm.
So transcending is a wonderful thing. When you see that sunrise, you have that feeling. When you're at the top of the mountain, you have that feeling. Well, when you get in-depth understanding of the prophetic message, you transcend like nothing else, right?
Right.
Much more,
Yeah.
much further than that, right? So I look, certainly the things that we've found in these last 50 years talking about it, slowly but surely, we're seeing a tremendous amount of how there's what's deeply embedded in the text to surface at a certain point in time. That's certainly sitting in the text.
No question.
There's no question that the text has sitting
We
within
also
it,
know we're missing
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we just.
All of it.
missing massive amount of it,
Yeah.
touching the
we see that there's connection, we just don't know what's going on.
right. But what we have seen is very amazing.
It's amazing.
It's tremendous, right?
But the forward progress is getting faster. It's
It's
feeding
well,
on itself, you know.
right,
Yeah.
right. If you're able to expose certain levels of the text, then that's right. In the last 30, 40 years, look where it got. Look how much more sophisticated. I told this week we had a meeting, and in the meeting, I said that I remember that the rabbi and I talked about having whatever we'll call it, some kind of a meeting with all the major Bible scholars and introduce them to the work because the breakthroughs had been amazing.
Then,
I look back on the state of what I would have transmitted then and say it's million times more sophisticated now. Much of another order. Okay, that's 30, 40 years later, 40 years later, at least, it became something of another order, right? So, we know we're in the midst of some kind of, breakthrough in prophetic writing that's of another order. And so that I think is very important for me, again, for me. The other one is that, if it's successful in bringing prophecy back to the nation, then there's going to be a lot of people walking around who are prophets,
oh, Dad, I meant that.
right? If you prophecy has to come back to the nation. When I say a lot, I didn't mean a million. I mean there'll be a prophet here and a prophet there. There'll be prophets floating around,
Right,
who have a deeper understanding of the text on a level like the way you think of Yirmiyah, Hosea, Amos, and Micha, and so on and so forth. So I think that's amazing,
yeah.
amazing,
We're not ready for that.
huh?
We're not ready for that.
Oh, I think we're ready for it. I think we're on the precipice. No, on the precipice of it's happening, I think. I think prophecy, the breakthrough in prophecy being found in the nation, and it's starting to pop up, is imminent.
Cause the Civil War.
No,
That's
is
the
it there or is it, I mean, in this room?
What do you
Or is it
mean?
just in this room?
No, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen slowly but surely.
The idea starts hearing some of this stuff.
No,
Starts-
no, I understand.
That's how you.
But you say it's right, it's there, but where?
What?
Outside this four walls.
There are people who are studying
People who-
Torah. There are people who are studying Torah on a very high level and have a deeper understanding. But that's why we had the meeting. We said, should we meet with them?
Right.
We said, is there a way to communicate with them?
Right.
Is there a way to introduce them to these ideas? Trying to publish is one of the ways. Put the material out there.
The
But
rap
it-
book is just,
Right,
it has tremendous effect.
right. Put the material out there and let them see it, and then it'll
The book guy will pick it up a little, take it to another level, take another thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't sound as exciting, we're talking as, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it happens, it's a tremendous thing.
I don't know. Yeah, it's close.
But I think it can happen. I think it is no, I think it's happening. I think it's happening. It's in process as we speak. As we talk, these things are in motion. I mean, it's a little silly when you think about the fact that we say that it's around us that it's happening. Still funny.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Okay,
But it's
okay.
happening
If
at all.
you can't deny it, you can't deny it. You see it, you have your own mind, your own two eyes, and we've sat down and say, it's amazing. What should we say? It's not out there. It's not out there, the rest of the world.
And if you tell it to an average guy, the little thing we learn like that, they're like, wow.
Right.
I mean,
So the fact that you're not egotistical if you recognize this is it. If you're gonna recognize, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's very important, that list statement. We're in the middle of it. We know we're in the middle of it. We understand that we're in the middle of it. We understand that this is it. Okay, so big deal.
What we do here
Yeah,
is for very, very tiny percentage of people to grasp this, to be-
right.
What's the more mass version that goes like the same way Torah has stories, narratives, all these things that like kids can read and understand,
Right.
get them in the right direction.
But what's the
What's the mass version of
unification of the nation? To unify the nation.
It's teaching, I
the
think.
mass
that-
teaching,
The mass teaching is that you get rid of
the natural thinking?
the magic guys. You get rid of the guys who are walking around and saying silly things and primitive things and magical things or just silly things.
But you have to replace it with something accessible that people, that's, because the magic is fun, people love the, it needs to
Right.
be really good if you want to replace the magic.
Yeah,
So you need
you need to,
something.
you need to raise the level.
you need to raise the level of the people.
You need material.
You don't.
Look,
You need
Material.
You need material.
that's right. That's correct. You have
If he
to,
wants to know this material that we learned, you can't give it to the average guy on the street. You know, so what are you giving him?
no, you can't.
The process.
But the teachers can become sharper and can understand better, and the teachers can then convey messages on a higher level.
The fifth grade kid doesn't hear that if I was 3 years old.
Right, as an
There's a little
example,
more, yeah.
as an example.
When you meet with Bible scholars, that's great,
Right,
but if you were meeting with a bunch of eighth graders,
you still tell them stories.
you still tell them stories.
Yes, but you tell them a story, you tell them a story that's gonna allow them to grow in
Tell them about Yirmiyah's,
whatever the stories you tell them.
Eliyahu's miracles. which
Right, but you
really
tell them,
not miracles.
that's correct. You tell them, you introduce them to to ideas that are more advanced. Look, if you look at a high schooler today, let's say a junior in high school, I just said that not to say a senior. And how much are they exposed to about knowledge in the world? How much are they exposed to beyond comprehension?
How much are they, the ability to be?
You talk about religious, I mean, he.
No, anybody, any, if you just got through high school, if you just got through high school,
Yeah.
you know so much about you're so much more ahead of the high schooler of 100 years ago, of 500 years ago. That high school is much more educated, much more aware, much more aware of what magic is, of what I didn't say they don't believe in magic. I say they're much more aware of what's real, not real, the world, life. Huh?
But they're still learning the same way, Ronnie. Basically, they're learning the same way.
No,
And-
I'm saying that. I'm saying, but it's still advanced. It's still advancing.
It's advancing.
It's advanced. Yeah. Look, how many?
It could be far, far better than it is.
Science today.
Far better. I agree. But let's say, for example, how many people believe in black cats? You see a black cat, it means something.
Black hat or black cat?
Cat.
Black cat. Right? How many people, if you see a cat,
Magic.
Yeah.
I don't care.
you're right. So I think a lot less people think black cats mean anything, right? A lot less.
Well, there's more scientific knowledge.
That's what I mean.
So
Ronnie,
therefore,
Ronnie,
there
we're in
is
the 9
advancement.
days, okay? We're in the 9 days now. You know how many people say it's bad luck, don't do this, don't do that. It's still there. It's still, I mean,
Right.
then
Yeah,
they're
I
learning
agree.
Gemarot on it and stuff like that. It's still very, very prevalent.
I agree.
Let's be honest there.
I
You know?
agree.
What do I tell you?
Yeah,
I think they ask, it's learning more Tanakh. When you can relate something from the Torah and get it to Tehillim and into Nevi'im and the structure and how
that's
it,
correct.
that to me is the way to get someone, let's say in high school, say, wow, it's all
Right,
there.
where the student learns something, and when they learn something, you know what happens to the student? The student who isn't given a thing, the better student who is given real answers will react, as opposed to the better student who hears the thing and then walks away and says they don't know what they're talking about. Right? So if you're able to communicate with that student, you've moved forward. You move forward. You didn't lose the guy. You didn't lose the guy to the better student says that's all silly. That's all shtuyot. That's all nonsense, right? The better student. So if you can show that better, if you can attract that better student, you can inspire them. Well, then you're showing them the Torah on another level, and they appreciate it. If you could take the Israelis who are the traditional ones, right? Not the right wing Haredim who have no connection to reality, and not the left wing maniacs who want to get, like in America, want to get rid of George Washington or
The
something.
guy still goes to shul Shabbat. He has Friday night dinner with his family. He has
Yeah,
a sense of tradition.
right. If you could teach those people and educate them about the Torah in a way that shows them something of another order, then you've moved the society forward.
And then
A molecule.
I taught reality revisited to, I don't know, at this point, maybe there was 15 high school students,
Yeah.
okay? I think that they were very appreciative
Right,
and very inspired by the fact
100%.
that they were having a discussion with depth to it about what is really going on and what things that they're being taught and is going on in the world that is going down the wrong path. And when they see the difference and they have things that click into place for them, it really resonates with what the way they think about everything. And it changes the way that they approach
I
everything.
think so. I think
I
so.
think when you bring them into which is this is that these are the 2 points I tried to make last night. One is that the Torah is trying to inform about reality and the way that everything works. And the other thing is, I brought up Rabbi Sassoon's idea that the Torah is a handbook for prophecy.
That's right.
You know, what that means exactly. In other words, there's a process over here that when you're in the right frame of mind and you understand the reality and how everything is coming together in its deeper sense, in the connections, to the creator and so on and so forth, then you really do become part of the prophetic
I think so.
process.
I think so,
So-
sure.
If we were able to get those messages across to a younger generation, not the guys who are, I don't know, wherever they are, already later in life and stuck in all kinds of thought process, you'd see a whole different development going on.
I think so. I think yes to all of that. I really do.
By the way, it's really not you.
Like
All
what?
the people
My
around you.
sister should be one of the people who's leading that.
Well,
She can influence the 100.
Every time she teaches,
Yeah.
she's able to do that. Yeah.
And if she can move the needle in the school and the way the school curriculum goes through, that's.
You move the needle a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I know that when I sit down with the young people and I teach them, they every time I teach somewhere, they tell me teach them the acrostics first, because the acrostics are very, very, very mind-boggling. You know, you can't believe the complexity. So they walk away with a real appreciation for the Torah because they say, "Oh, I can't believe what I thought it was be a good guy, be a good guy, be a good guy," and you find out that there's so much going on and so much. It's so
But they're
complex.
also confronted not just with something that's amazing. It's not refutable that there's structures and
Right.
layers of meaning
Right,
that nobody's recognized that are right crystal clear in front of
in
you.
front of your face.
That's because of structure, so they're already starting ahead of.
You can't deny it. Once you see it, you can't deny it.
Yeah.
It's not, I always say, once the guy gets it, he can't deny, he can't say it's your midrash. He can't deny it.
No.
It's right there. It's
Right.
right in front of your face.
Right, if you go to Noach, Ronnie, you take those dates that you.
Right.
You taught a class, and you say they correspond to the Korban here, you know what I mean? And that's.
Yeah, 217. You find out why the flood started on 217.
There
It's
you go.
amazing.
Yeah,
Right?
stuff like that.
It's
that-
it's a backdated number,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's backdated 80 days off of 5/7. It's amazing.
Yeah, that
It's
stuff, the
amazing.
kids, even the high school, you're talking about the high school kids, that would love that. Wow,
Love it.
makes
They're
sense.
inspiring. It has the number is not just
Yeah,
the number has a
haphazard, you're
meaning.
learning it, 100%. We're
Right.
learning in school, it's a date, we go right past it, we don't even think it's any meaning.
Right, or a
Any good
name
numbers and stuff.
that has
Or
meaning.
name, exactly.
Right. Or you think of a concept, the concept of what Shilashima Devim and transgenerational punishment and what that means and what the covenant is. You light people up with that. You inspire people with that. The majority of the rabbis that are out there that are teaching, you know what they teach? The great majority, halakha. Because they have nothing to say about the Torah and Nevi'im and Ketuvim. They have nothing to say about Tanakh. All they do is teach halakha, morning, noon, and night.
I think that, by the way, I've been making this point for the last 2 weeks because some of my friends have started to read the Gemara
Right.
just straight, and it's becoming so clear to them so quickly that the guys who are sitting in Kolel all day don't even know what the Gemara is saying.
Right. They for sure don't.
They don't even understand that the Hachamim are trying to say a message with a lot of depth to it, and it's going
Gone.
right over their head. And they're
Gone.
doing it for decades,
Right,
sitting there, and they never understood a word.
Right.
that's for sure.
And by teaching halakha, you get off you don't have to do this, do this, do this, do this. Don't do this, don't do it. That's all. You just teach the thing. Pesa, if you have matzahs and the thing in them, and you teach it and you learn it all day. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with learning what the law is.
That's what they're
Important.
focusing on the Gemara and that they get.
But they're focusing on Tanakh. They're not touching it. They don't know what it says.
Yeah.
They have no idea what it says in the Torah at all. The rabbis are clueless about what it says in the Torah.
She says, but that's.
But,
Right.
Sorry, I missed the list. The modern day rabbis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're clueless. They never learn it. They never spend any time at all on it. They never contemplate anything with any
Nothing.
depth and sophistication. Said to say the goyim look better. They don't know what it's talking about either, but at least they're trying.
Ralphie in his class Shabbat, he goes, this is our biggest failing, is the Goyim know Tanakh better than we do.
Yeah, there you go.
Because fundamental Christian, they can quote it from back and left and right.
Yeah,
He goes, we don't even know who's Zechariah is, like, you know.
nothing.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
He said it's that's one of the biggest failings we
You
have.
get semichai, you walk away, you don't know anything.
No.
You can know nothing. Zero.
But
Zero.
unfortunately, I know a few people now who started getting into the religion, started going to shul like that, and right after that, they're thrown into a Gemara class.
Right.
And I told them, I said, open the Chumash. Read,
Right.
on Shabbat, I go and I listen to the rabbi's class and I read the parasha. I said, no, sit down. I told this guy, you know what would be better for you? Shnei Mikra Kabdum for you.
Yeah, right.
Even that would
Right.
be fantastic. At least you'd be reading and understanding.
Right.
And everything you're learning in Gemara and all the stuff in this Musar you're learning, it's right there.
Right.
But they don't. But that's the system.
Yeah. I'm today I was working with Rabbi Ralphie on we've finished off chapter 7 of 10 chapters. 3 more chapters and we're done. Which is the review of the review. I hope you get it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
happy.
So I got to the point, to the thing where I had to show him the chart on the trial of the 2 women.
Hmm.
Where he says, cut the baby, right? So if you think about it, what we say about what that trial means and what it represents, you all know well, correct? You know,
But in the next-
right?
Yeah.
That's where he condemns himself. David condemns himself and he condemns himself because it's a trial. So he says he condemns himself. He's talking about himself in that trial. Split the baby. Split the baby. Well, why? Because of course the mother wouldn't do it. Yeah, but you did, right?
Yeah.
David. What does he say when then Natan and David tells him the poor guy, he says that guy
Put
he
him to
should
death.
die. So he brings a condemnation. He
Makes a decree.
legislates. He doesn't, of course, it's hyperbole.
Makes a decree. on
He says the guy should die. Oh, you mean you should die? So Shlomo, no one would ever do that, but you did it, right? When you tell that to an intelligent person, right?
That's intelligent.
That person walks away inspired, and you move them off of center.
100%.
Yeah, that's-
Huh?
100%.
You move them off of center. I remember when I told that to Alex Schindler. You know what he told me? He went like this. I says, "This is what it means." So he goes,
Huh.
"I never heard anything like that in my life." He goes,
Mhm.
"I can't believe it."
100%.
And then he went like this. It's Pashut. That's the answer.
He thought he was the smartest guy in the world.
That 6 months we did that Shlomo was the best 6 months we've had with you.
Yeah,
Yeah, the best, but
yeah.
It was, it
pretty good.
opened up our eyes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Now, when you teach that to a student,
Yeah.
you open them up,
Oh,
and you
That would be great, yeah.
yeah.
It tells you, look at this, when you're reading it, understand, just don't.
So how do you get that when they're giving an IB class in 10th grade to teach it that way instead of the other way?
Well, first the teacher has to know it.
Of course.
Look at the Hillel school over here. The Hillel school over here. Where do they get all the teachers from?
Old school.
Not 80%.
Lake,
Huh?
Not 80%.
Lake.
I would imagine they'll get most of them out of Lakewood.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right, and therefore you're feeding them with teachers who don't know.
But with 20 years ago. we
Anything
tried-
about-
We tried with the Lego Franco, it's 20 years now, these programs and. still
Right.
not moving the needle.
Right,
You know, you have a Barkai, but that's about it.
right.
How much
Okay.
was the needle moved? When we read that narrative from Yirmiyah, it's the last narrative that he interacts with the people, I think. It's
Yeah.
The last conversation that he has.
Oh,
Yeah,
And the last conversation is
They say piss.
the Queen of Heaven.
right. That's
the
40
last
years later.
Right.
Conversation.
After destruction, after things.
That's 40 years later. He has to live with that.
After he was proven right.
I say when he walked away from that, he went like this.
Everything he
Right.
said came about and.
Are they serious?
Yes.
40 years later, this is where we're sitting? This is what you believe? That you didn't offer the cakes and that's the name of the game? You mean nothing got through?
No.
So the answer is,
One
that,
guy, two guys. and
no, then he went into, he realized that's where he starts to insert these ideas on
Yeah.
a deeper level, where slowly but surely there'll be over a
That's the
long.
point. He said things were done to talk to somebody. It's not gonna work to talk to the people that are around in his time.
No, waste of time.
He had to set something up that's gonna be available to communicate with you a couple of millennia later.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows when the guy's gonna come along? Just embed it and it'll manifest.
Right,
Like you said, in the springtime, you said the 1948, the start of the state of Israel,
right.
was the evolution for us to go ahead and start bringing this stuff to the forefront and.
Yeah. And remember that Bereshit closes on a story about a guy who's part of the nation who stays hidden. Remember that the story says,
Right.
that the prophetic leader of the nation,
Right.
the spiritual leader of the nation,
Revealing some.
and selfless to beyond comprehension, where is he located?
Nobody knows.
Beneath the surface,
Yeah.
and nobody knows who he is. He has to resort to say it.
Let's
You see?
let's just say disguise.
disguise.
Okay.
He has to disguise himself. If he says who he is,
It's gonna blow the whole thing up, right?
it won't work. Won't work. So what could he do? He'll say the message, but he won't say it's himself.
Right.
That's having no ego whatsoever.
Right, just to make it clear, there are stories in Bereshit where there's a lot of disguise and that goes on. Some of them are good.
Yeah,
Some of them are not.
right. You should give an example.
But just Tamar,
Right.
right?
She says she
Yeah.
puts her full self forth like
Yeah.
she's a prostitute.
That wasn't good.
She's not a prostitute.
Yeah, but with this, with
Yaakov.
There's the deception that goes on with Shimon and Levi.
Yaakov's deception was bad.
There's-
Yeah.
Bad.
Yes.
There's good, uh, there's
Right.
good moves and there's moves that are,
There's deception throughout, and some of the.
right, but some,
Abraham's was a questionable one,
Right.
Paro and stuff like that. There's a lot, yeah.
yeah,
Everybody.
you see it happening a lot.
Yeah.
All over the
It's
place.
talking about when is the right way to do it? When is it right to do it? When is the right, how is the right way to do
It's a
it?
general
I think-
consensus, it's not-
I think when Moshe comes down from the
Yosef
mountain,
is really the only one.
No, it's a,
What
no,
is-
no, it's some of those cases, you have to say it's a necessary move.
Yeah, it's a
Right.
teaching, or
Because-
Tamar is a teaching.
I'll tell you the best one.
Bad things that went wrong.
No,
Yosef had to trick his brother.
The best one is when Moshe comes down and he has to cover his face.
Just to cover his face.
Uh-huh.
That's
You
correct.
can't see him. What does it mean? He has to wear a veil.
Right.
What does it mean he has to wear a veil? His face was
But that's the thing,
Ask a rabbi, Taser, what do you mean? It was glowing.
it was too much for them.
That's what I'll tell you.
Right, they can't handle it.
Yeah, they'll tell you that was really glowing, but of course it means, the
Yeah.
message was, he had to veil
He couldn't.
the message.
Well, you could
It
say the
couldn't
same
be
thing-
direct because you couldn't cope with it. It's
You can
water
say
off
the
a
same
duck's
thing
back.
about,
You just,
The Ten Commandments,
the Torah, right.
they couldn't handle.
you represent us.
It
We can't
has to
take
be a
it.
guy who's conveying it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I'm sitting with a extremely brilliant person and I get carried away.
You-
And I say, someone who's much higher IQ than me and very, very smart. And I say, and I start to go on a run, right? And recently, about 2-3 weeks ago, a guy turned around to me and he told me like this. You're overwhelming me. I can't handle it, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean? It means that it's so bright in the room now, I need sunglasses. I can't see anything. It's too much, right? It's now, or what you're saying is starting to
Right.
fall off. That's what I meant with water off a day. It's just, it's
Right.
going right by. I'm not seeing you.
Yeah.
You overloaded me. I'm in burnout. And I went like this. Oh, I'm sorry, right? I realized because you get very inspired and you want it.
Well, that happens with an individual and it happens with society, which is they need to absorb and internalize certain pieces in order for the next thing to take hold.
Right.
It's building blocks.
So the Torah.
And the biggest problem is that we're in a state where things have to be deconstructed before you can even start.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
it's a long process.
Right. So that's why the Torah has that story built in it. Right?
Right,
When does Yosef make a decision that it's okay to reveal himself?
at the end.
When they're ready to accept it.
When
Yeah, but-
Yehuda says,
Yeah,
You see,
yeah, too.
yeah.
Take me.
Right,
take me,
he's ready to receive.
He's totally selfless.
selfless,
Right.
Totally
selfless.
selfless.
He's at it, take me, just set it right, set it right, give him back to his father. Give who back? It's his son.
Right.
I'm his son too. No,
He also acknowledged Raphael, that Raphael was his wife,
that's correct.
his love.
That's correct.
He acknowledged it.
His mother, what about my mother?
Yeah.
Well, that's where there it's at. So therefore he becomes completely selfless. At that juncture, there's the breakthrough.
Right.
The big breakthrough. Now you can know who I am, right? Now you can understand it. So that's saying that the society has to be,
You can't do it before it's ready.
yeah, you gotta work with it slowly. You gotta slowly,
You
so,
have to prime them.
huh?
You said,
Well, that's
it
what-
was priming them.
That's the deconstruction that Morris says.
Well, not.
We gotta unlearn a lot of things too.
Yeah. You gotta be open.
So Rabbi Ricky was in the meeting and he said, yeah, you have to get in touch with all these main guys, right, that are floating around and have sessions with them.
He did it once, right? In May, he had a session with these guys.
With,
Yeah.
no, those are retired guys.
No,
Litzner, yeah.
no, Rabbi Ricky had some community rabbis.
No, no.
Oh, no, me, he says, yeah, he had one of those meetings last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He told them very interesting things.
Mhm.
He told them that,
Sorry, who told who?
that one of the rabbis that came to the meeting is a shohet. I don't know where. And he tells them the Ashkenazim say that you can't use a certain part of the animal as opposed to the Sferadim, right? And they control what's called kosher and not kosher. So what percent of the animal gets knocked out when they say what you can't use? Because we're talking about how expensive kosher meat is.
30%?
70%.
Are you serious?
70% is sold to the non
Kosher.
kosher market, and 30% is, and therefore you end up with super expensive, right?
They follow Sephardi. What was
They would,
Sephardi
but they
law?
don't have control over it, right?
What would
That's what he
Sephardi
said.
law
With
say?
those, but the butcher.
What does Sephardi say?
That you need your own.
Sferadim would say much more is allowed, much
Well,
more.
it's
is allowed.
Midwest, you can-
He says they don't know how to do it. I know how to cut it out. I know because that's an area that you could, the Gid Hanashir is there and so on and so forth. Because I don't know how to do it, so I do it. And then you have all of that meat.
This guy said he did.
Yeah. So it was
Again, if
saying,
you have Ashkenazim as guests,
No, forget.
you need one.
That's, you're getting technical. Now we're
Yeah,
just talking
well.
about the,
right. No, he says he does it right. No, they could eat it.
Well, they can.
No, they can eat it. They say they can't, they don't trust that the guy will get it out right. He says, so get it out right. Interesting. Work on it, et cetera. Yeah. So, I just, before it's late, I want to just say one thing about Tisha B'Av, very interesting. What's allowed on Tisha B'Av for the 3 weeks, for the 9 days and Shavua Shehal? So if you look at the law, what's allowed in the 3 weeks?
What's not allowed, Nick?
What's not allowed?
In the 3 weeks,
Weddings.
Nothing.
pretty much not.
What's not allowed for the 9 days?
Meat, basar, v'yayin.
Some people, other people say it's not a problem.
Oh,
From the Gemara, could you go upstairs on,
Bring up that chart.
you have the chart?
Who would have
Yeah.
ever thought it? You giving halacha?
Yeah,
He said,
and then in the Shavua Shehalbo,
Shaving, haircuts.
that's it, you're done.
And
No
and
shower?
bathing,
Clothing.
warm bathing and stuff like that.
Well, that in today's day and age,
Once a month.
who bathes once a week?
Right.
Who bathes?
According to
Nobody
this-
bathes once a day, and if you
Especially
tell
in
a
the
guy
summer.
he has to wait 2 days, he goes out of his mind. To a
Summer.
guy who bathes once a week, and you tell him, okay, this week,
okay.
what'd you tell him? My father told me in Israel, once a week, you go to the Hanan, right? 1906 he was born. That's in the early night, right? So when he was 17, that's 1923, once a week,
Right.
you go to the hammam, hot water, and you get refreshed. When? Friday.
Mhm.
Right? And that's the end of the story. You don't go, you
I
don't,
want the chart.
yeah. So I'm just gonna tell you, what's allowed,
We don't have to fast and stuff.
everything is allowed. Then in the 9 days, what's not allowed? Everything is allowed.
See, everything in the 9
Meat
days.
and wine,
This chart has 3 sources on it. One is Shulchan Aruch, one is Mishneh Torah,
right?
and one is the Gemara.
Mishneh Torah is permitted according to
Rambam.
the Talmud and Mishneh Torah, but the Mishneh Torah says local practice in some places of not doing any shechita from Rosh Chodesh, right? Then Shulchan Aruch permitted.
Because in those days-
Shulchan Aruch permitted. Some people don't,
Unbelievable. You kidding me?
right? Showering and bathing, Shulchan Aruch permitted. Some people don't, right? Now, Shavua Shehalbo, right? The
We
week,
don't have this here.
that week, which we don't have.
No, shower and bathing 9 days, we do anyway.
Yes,
No, okay, so.
That's it.
It's
Yeah.
the
And
same
washing
thing as
clothes, right? Where's
Some
washing
people
clothes?
don't.
come in?
I skipped it. I skipped it. Week of the 9th of Av, Talmud.
The main thing is you don't shave.
Talmud and Mishneh Torah permitted, impliedly forbidden.
That's the main-
Wearing new clothing, impliedly
Right,
forbidden.
they made it clean clothes,
Shulchan Aruch forbidden. That,
new clothes,
yeah,
new, not clean, new,
No.
yeah, new,
right.
new, wearing new clothing. Then, saying Shehianu, Talmud, Mishneh Torah permitted. Shulchan Aruch, good to avoid saying, but not prohibited.
Right.
So far now, listen, then fixing, preparing new clothing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a very chashuv in the old.
Shulchan Aruch cites, but does not adopt a view that this is forbidden in the week of the 9th of Av, and then within this view, some are stringent from Rosh Chodesh, that is the 9 days.
Right.
Okay, so you don't do it, but
Okay,
now, after that, laundry and wearing laundered clothes.
Yeah.
Right?
which they only wash once a weekend.
Shulchan Aruch, forbidden to wash clothing and to wear previously washed or ironed clothing.
Because it was very,
Done.
Because they never did.
because it was chashuv. Do work.
It's crazy? No, nobody did that. Anyway, what do you do today? You just wear it for 15 minutes and it's
I
not
don't
new
do that.
anymore.
Okay, well,
Then haircuts and shaving.
Uh-huh.
Everybody says it's forbidden, but that's for that week. Yeah,
Wait, Shavua
You're not doing
Shechava?
anything.
We're
Right.
talking
You did it on
about
Friday
Shavua Shechava?
before.
Right.
So you can do it
That's
next
the main
Friday.
thing.
right,
That's it.
those days.
right.
Go get a haircut.
And then how about music? Look what he writes. Talmud, Mishneh Torah, and Shulchan Aruch all prohibit listening to music all year. There are no specific laws about music in this time period. It's because of the Churban, so to say, for that
You're
reason.
never allowed.
We're never allowed. Right. Meat and wine
So
on Shavua Shehaldor,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
Talmud and Mishneh Torah permitted except on the eve of the 9th
Really?
of Av as the final meal.
Yes, we love
Wow.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Mishneh Torah notes the practice of many Jews not to eat meat does not mention wine here. And that when he says that,
he
right?
mentions it though.
Yeah, he mentions it. And then Shulchan Aruch permitted, some people don't.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And then showering and bathing, Talmud, Mishneh Torah permitted. Mishneh Torah notes practice of Jews to refrain from going to the bathhouses.
Right, because that's what the example.
And that's it.
But it's all your
Right.
fault, by the way.
And the last thing is showering, bathing is Shulchan Aruch permitted. Some people don't. Some people don't. All of, huh?
It's all your fault.
Why is that?
1979, I remember it distinctly. There was only one shul in the entire Jersey Shore, was Deal Shul.
Right?
Yeah.
And Chash, at the afternoon of Tisha B'Av, one shul, one place, maybe 2/3 full,
Yeah,
and half of those people are the Sephardics.
right.
You, your brother, Murray Dweck, Joe Bijou. This is the only people in the community fasting were the Sephardics.
Right. I have the famous story. I've told you the story before.
Fasting. So,
Yeah.
so in us,
Yeah.
and you put in the community, the
Well, fasting is-
so now they go crazy that you can't bake.
Right. And the Bradley Beach, the shul used to be packed on Shabbat. There were, I don't know, 250 people, and the shul was packed in that main room, on Fifth Avenue. I'm talking about. It's 1962, 3, 4. I'm not sure. I went to Lakewood in 65, so a few years before that. It's Bradley. The rab comes from Lakewood, right? Because he was there for 6 years till 1966. So 1960, so he's there, right? So the rab comes in, and we have a class.
Wow.
Who was in the class with me? Or maybe my brother Joe. I don't know, a few guys. And it's Mincha time. And Mincha on Tisha B'Av on a Sunday.
Right.
What will it be like this Sunday on Mincha and Tisha B'Av? How many people will be in shul just in New
You
Jersey?
need 2 minyanim then.
Say, about
5,000.
5,000.
20
Okay,
shuls all packed. Yes.
the Beit Midrash has 20 guys,
I thought it-
20. And only 11 or 12 of them are wearing tefillin. The other guys are not fasting. Where is everybody else?
Right, right.
On the beach.
On the beach, on the beach.
And it's past Hatzot, so they're all eating,
Swimming.
right? And that's the end of the story.
Swimming.
20 guys in the Bet Midrash and 11, 12
listening
guys
to
wearing
this?
tefillin, meaning they're fasting, and that's
I just told you 17 years later, it was like that.
yeah.
Okay, one shul had 2/3 of the shul of people in the shul.
That's it.
So far.
It's amazing.
I was not to swim until Hatzot. Then I could swim. No.
After Hatzot, always,
Sad.
always. You got your sandwiches to go to take with you to the beach.
Brother
You can't eat it till Hatzot.
Uri's? Was it Uri's then?
Fasting with those 30 guys in Joey's backyard.
That's right.
That was the community.
That was it.
the
That was it.
You see when you started?
Yeah, yeah. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Yeah. Worst thing started is wigs.
I love it.
Just remember when Linda put on a wig, there was nobody wearing wigs
Okay.
So you-
except for Miriam.
So I got very excited because
And then I got depressed and when I 10 years, 15 years later, I said, take off the wig and she told me too late. And then it became the in thing now. Now, if you wear a wig, you're an innie. You know, you're one of the boys.
so there's one woman
Benny.
who wears a wig.
An innie.
She's been wearing a wig for years, stuff like that. All of a sudden I see her on
Severance.
Saturday.
Yeah, of course.
Severance. Yeah.
On Saturday going to class.
Yeah.
So, you have the wig riding a bicycle now, Shabbat. So
Yeah.
go figure out the.
Yeah.
Why can't you ride a bike on Shabbat? If you ride a bike on Shabbat, there's never a problem.
She's the only person in the country wearing a wig and riding a bike. on Shabbat.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's your own. It was more than homeless.
Everything is all,
So I got an engagement party, so during the 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Religious people,
You have music.
they had music, but I said, what's with the music?
Oh.
Acapella music is okay.
Yeah. I get that.
yeah, because you know why they say a cappella? Because there's no instruments.
It's like the.
So you have a cappella, so it's right.
That's a new one, all right.
I heard that.
Right. How about this? They used to have weddings.
Yes.
They used to have weddings. There's nothing wrong with a wedding.
And also.
In the
You would never
9
have the
days?
vacation. That's the worst thing for you. But no, you used to have weddings.
In the 9 days?
Absolutely nothing wrong with having a wedding at all in any way, shape, form, or manner. Okay, so maybe the last 9 days,
That's the superstition said it.
maybe.
That's the
Yeah.
superstition that became about.
All
It
right,
became superstition.
I'm signing off.
Who didn't want to get married those 3 weeks?
It was interesting anyway. We didn't do,
Open a book.
it was good. Yeah, you didn't open it.
Yeah, okay, so that's- all
All right.
right, thank you very much. Bye now.
That's right.
It was,
What? Doesn't-